and they will be discussing about the smart way of how Ramadan, the cures and the crises one can go through in this month. So I'd like to invite our brother Sufyan to inshallah discuss the first part, after which there will be another discourse and there will be a short break after that. So there's two discourses by Ustad Sufyan and Brother Umar, and then inshallah there will be a short break. Jazakallah khair.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من الشرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله العظيم. My respected brothers and sisters, the elders and youngsters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'd like to welcome you all to this rather unique program. And it's very unique because in the next couple of hours or so, everybody here, brothers and sisters alike, will be able to make this Ramadan the best Ramadan of your life, inshallah. You see, this Ramadan, or this program as such, we have called the S.M.A.R.T Ramadan. Reason being because the time we're living in, the zamana we're living in, is we like to be smart as to how we do things. We have smart TVs, smart watches, smart phones, smart houses. Why? Because we want to create ease for ourselves. We want to communicate with people easily. We want to be entertained easily. We want to run our houses easily. We want to save time, save money, save resources. We want to be efficient and effective in whatever the objective is. So really Ramadan, if we follow the guidance of the righteous and the pious, the awliya, salihin, really Ramadan can be the same. It doesn't have to be the same as it was last year or the year before. Because what happens is, time and time again, if you see the presentation soon, inshallah, people spend 30 days doing the same thing again and again, year after year, but the results, they're not fruitful. Or maybe the results are the same, or maybe they're the same after 30 days. So clearly something's going wrong. If a person spends a month doing something, or they're fasting, or they're going to the masjid, or doing certain amals, but nothing's happening at the end, there's no change, something's gone wrong in the process. Because what people do nowadays, unfortunately, they spend 30 days, okay, they don't eat and drink from sunrise to sunset, but really they're just starving, or they're dehydrated. The malnutrition maybe, I don't know. All they're doing is fasting for one particular organ. Okay, it's a start perhaps, but it's not quite fasting. There's more to fasting than not eating or drinking. There's more to fasting than going to the masjid every night for Salat al-Tarawih. There's more to fasting than waking up in the morning and eating. There's more than fasting than all this combined. You see, in about 10 days, we are going to be presented with a very unique opportunity. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, in about 10 days, we don't have to be fasting. We don't have to be starving. A person can learn how to fast today, in the next few hours, effectively, efficiently, and in a smart manner. You see, fasting involves a lot more than not eating or drinking. Fasting involves a lot more than one particular organ. Fasting actually involves 7 organs, if you are to be effective and efficient. Fasting involves how we deal with other people, not just how we deal with ourselves. You see, the Mashaykh have passed down a very simple analogy as to how a person can understand. You have certain keywords. You have Ramadan, you have fasting, you have ibadat, and you have the focal, the objective, the whole purpose of fasting itself called taqwa. But the question is, how did these 4 things link? How are they related? What's the relationship? You have a time period of 30 days called Ramadan, you have worship, you have fasting, you have taqwa. How do they all link? And they put it very simply. They say that Ramadan is like an ocean. It's like an ocean when the tide comes in. It's an opportunity a person can benefit from this tide. And this particular tide only comes once a year. And the tide is there for 30 days. After 30 days, it's gone. For another year, it's gone. In 10 days' time, this tide will come to all of us, inshallah. In 10 days' time, the tide on the ocean of Ramadan will be brought forth for all of us. Fasting is to dive into the ocean, to be fully submerged. To be fully submerged with all the 7 organs, with the mind, with the heart, to be fully submerged in this blessed water. Not just a stomach. We're not standing halfway into the water. No, fully submerged. Our entirety is submerged, and that is when a person is in a state of fasting. But it's still insufficient to just stay static, submerged in the water. We're not submarine divers who just stand still. No. Ibadat would allow us to move forward whilst we're in a state of fasting. Worship, be it the 5 daily prayers or recitation of Quran and these things and other amals, the Honourable Stars will mention, worship allows us to proceed, to move forward, to progress towards the objective of Ramadan itself. And the objective of Ramadan itself is the pearl which is known as taqwa. This is the Arabic word. This is the objective. Fasting itself is not the objective. Salat al-Tarawih itself is not the objective. Eid itself is not the objective. The objective of Ramadan, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran, is this thing called taqwa. In English, some people call it piety or God consciousness. Just to elaborate further. Now, taqwa, to break it down into layman's terms for people like myself, can be described as the everlasting, energetic, spiritual force, keeping a person aware of the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inwardly and obedient outwardly. You see, there are 2 components, the inner and the outer, both of which will be covered today, inshallah. This is the point of the 30-day fasting program. This is the point of Ramadan, taqwa itself. And inshallah, you will learn the skills here today, tonight, within a couple of hours, of how to do this with ease. You don't have to do it every single night. You don't have to go to the masjid every single day and spend all your time there. No, we're busy. People are busy. We have jobs, we have families, we have responsibilities. Everybody's busy. And yet, you can still manage to attain taqwa efficiently and effectively in a smart manner. So the question now to be asked by oneself is, well, why is taqwa important? What's the point of taqwa? How is this related to me and my life? Well, simply put, if you think about the time we're living in, there's a financial crisis going on. There's an energy crisis going on. For some people, maybe they have a mental crisis, they have mental health issues. Some people have a physical crisis. All over the world, in some way, some form, people are undergoing some form of crisis. And this is life, what can you do? Okay. Taqwa, however, addresses so many issues, so many problems and crises can be addressed, and they can provide solutions for, which you will see today. But however, all these crises we have in the dunya, be it financial, be it energy, mental, physical, all of these crises are temporal. They all end when a person dies. However, there's a bigger crisis, the biggest crisis, and this is the spiritual crisis. Because if a person is in such a state where they are spiritually unaware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or spiritually not connected, this goes beyond the grave. This will affect a person in the barzakh, in the grave. This will affect a person on the day of judgment, and ultimately even take a person to the hellfire forever, potentially. You see, on the display board, we are here on the face of the earth for a very short period of time. And all of us, one by one, will be gone soon. If a person is struggling financially, perhaps right now, money goes, money comes back. Health goes, health comes back. All these things are temporal. But if a person is in a spiritual crisis, that's a big problem. And it has an eternal potential impact. You see, there are certain ingredients that are required. There are actually 4 ingredients required for a smart fast. And all these 4 a person can learn here tonight, inshallah. The first ingredient a person will learn tonight, inshallah, is how to be in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How to be in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give preference to His commands. What does He want? Not us. We don't know anything, especially people like me, we know nothing. No. What does the Creator want from creation? This, in context of today's program, will relate to the do's and the don'ts. What are the smart actions a person can be doing, and what should we not be doing to achieve the objective of attaining taqwa? And this is something Ustad Umar, besides me, will go into further detail. The second ingredient of obtaining taqwa is giving preference to the Prophet ﷺ, honouring his way of life, honouring their blessed teachings. Because the more a person travels on the prophetic path, the more taqwa this person can attain as well. And the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, Ustaz Siraj and Imam Qais will go into detail how a person can attain the presence and why this is critical, why this is paramount. Compassion upon creation, be it your fellow neighbour, your family, your friends. We all have rights due upon us, whether we like it or not. These are rights we'll be asked about one day, nevertheless. Compassion upon creation is one of the 4 key ingredients. So if we are serious about attaining taqwa in 30 days, these are the 4 key ingredients one must attain, one must practice, and one must improve upon. Ustaz Siraj will go into something called the SMART dua. Like we have smartwatches, smartphones, because a smartphone allows us to communicate effectively and efficiently with minimal effort. Time and time again, people do all forms of worship, which is fine. Not as jais, it's a good thing. But perhaps they're not seeing the results. Perhaps a person wants divine intervention, but they're not getting it, perhaps. Well, something's missing clearly. Because if a person repeats the process of a certain action time and time again and doesn't get any different results, then this insanity, we can say. The SMART dua will be presented tonight. You will see how can you connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala effectively. How can you see results? Around your obligations. Start to plan your day around the 5 daily prayers. Start to plan your day before the morning as well, and the evening when you're going to eat. Unfortunately, eating is the only thing we plan in this month. Where we're going to have iftari, who we're going to have iftari with, that's all we plan for. No, plan the day. Don't waste a single second. Ustad Shaban will go through SMART targets. SMART in this case is an acronym. Each and every one of us here can walk away with specific targets that relate to yourself. It doesn't matter what the person next to you chooses as a target. No, you know yourself more than anyone here. You know yourself how many amals perhaps you're doing, how perhaps you're righteous and pious, which I'm sure you are. Be specific. Today, Imam Qais will present to yourselves a variety of options. Pick a target specific to yourself. You will be able to assess your progress in 30 days. You'll be able to measure how much taqwa are you attaining or have you attained. And this will be done over the 30-day period. The targets that you will select will be achievable. Anybody can do these things. Okay, if you can't read many extra prayers or nawafil, okay, you don't have to. If you can't finish the full Quran, the recitation of the Quran in 30 days, okay, you don't have to. If you're lazy like me, and you go through the easiest option every time, even this is possible. Even a non-Muslim, who perhaps may walk into today, a non-Muslim can practice the options presented to yourself today, and they will benefit in some way, shape, or form. It's a guarantee. I guarantee it. Everything presented to yourself today, there is something we can all take away, and you'll be able to achieve these targets because they are realistic. Nobody here has to become a scholar in 30 days. Nobody here has to become a mega Muslim and spend time and time in the masjid. No. Everything presented to yourself today is achievable and it's realistic. And the time frame you have is 30 days. In addition to the 30 days, you'll have a daily target presented for yourselves. And these daily targets build up to a weekly target, and the weekly targets become obviously a monthly target. So like I said to yourselves earlier on, please take today very seriously. Don't come here to listen, because we are not lecturers. Myself, I'm not a teacher in that sense, no. But the Honourable Imam Qais and the Ustads, they will present to you real actions that can make real impact. So let's make this Ramadan a smart Ramadan. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah. Our Ustad Sufyan. Now we're going to go to Brother Umair, who are going to discuss the do's and don'ts of fasting and go into more detail, as these are questions often people ask about Ramadan. Is my fasting valid? Is it not valid? So we might fast all month, but maybe there are certain violations and rules that we break. So in order to just clarify these matters, we have our brother Umair, inshallah, who will go into do a presentation on this. Circle.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all the worlds, and may His infinite peace, blessing and mercy be upon Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and upon the Ahlul Bayt, the Sahaba Ikram, and all the pious and righteous from Hazrat Adam alayhi salam till now and up until the Day of Judgment, inshallah. So again, is we're here to learn about how to have a smart Ramadan, how to have smart changes, inshallah. And as you can see on the screen, this is going to be the effective and efficient instructions. This is going to be the do's and don'ts. And please, bear with me. I'm going to try and make it as exciting as possible, inshallah. So, prophetic prescriptions. So, first is upon every mature Muslim man and woman, unless one has valid Sharia reason. Number 2, fasting equals to abstain from eating, drinking, and marital relationship from dawn till sunset with intention. And third, the intention is critical, inshallah. So these are the sort of your premise of what we're going to go into, inshallah. Effective actions. Effective actions. So number 1 is to eat or drink something unintentionally. A mosquito fly or any other object going down the throat unintentionally. So the key words here are unintentionally, that you don't intend to do these. Water entering the ears, dust or dirt going down the throat, swallowing one's own saliva, and taking an injection. Number 7 is applying surma, gold into the eyes, taking a bath to keep cool, rubbing oil onto the body or hair, to vomit unintentionally. Again, sometimes when people feel sick or something, then they vomit intentionally. That won't be allowed. However, here is unintentionally. Number 11 is to apply ittar or perfume. It is not permitted to inhale the smoke of laban or agarbatti whilst fasting. It is also not permitted to smoke cigarettes or inhale its smoke. Brushing the teeth without toothpaste or powder, e.g. you're using a miswak. And 13 is a dream which makes a ghusl wajib necessary, does not break the roza. So the previous actions were mentioned, and they were effective actions that if one does, they still keep the fast. Now we're going to look at things, inefficient actions. Things that break one's fast are of 2 kinds. So the first, some make only qaza necessary, while others make qaza and kafara compulsory. So what does qaza mean? Qaza means to keep one's fast in place of one that breaks or is broken intentionally. And number 2, kafara, to keep one's fast after another for 60 days continuously. If a person is unable to keep the 60 fasts, one has the option of choosing from one of the following 4. Feed 60 people to their fill for two meals, or feed one poor person 2 meals a day for 60 days, or give 60 poor people 3.5 pounds, approximately 1.6 kg of wheat or its value in cash or food grains, and give to one poor person not less than 3.5 pounds of wheat, rice or food grains, e.g. its value or cash for 60 days. Things that break one's fast but make only qaza wajib. Anything put by force into the mouth of a fasting person. Water goes down the throat whilst gargling, conscious of one's fasting. To vomit mouthfuls intentionally or to return vomit down the throat. Swallowing intentionally a pebble, piece of paper or any item that is not used as food or as medicine. Swallowing something edible equal to bigger than a grain of gram, which is stuck between the teeth, and putting oil into the ear. And again, number 7 is inhaling stuff into the nostrils, swallowing blood. If it's the color of the blood is more than the saliva which is mixed. To eat and drink, forgetting that one is fasting and therefore thinking that the fast is broken. To eat again and drink again. To eat and drink after Subh Sadiq, or break the fast before sunset due to a cloudy sky or faulty watch, etc., and then realizing one's fault. Things that make both qaza and kafara. So before we just spoke about either the qaza or the kafara, and now we are going to talk about things that make both wajib. So number 1 is eating and drinking or breaking the fast in any other manner, e.g. smoking without a valid reason, will make qaza and kafara necessary. Applying surma into the eyes or rubbing oil onto the head and then thinking that the fast is broken. To eat and drink intentionally. To drink any kind of medicine intentionally. Note, injection is permitted, inshallah. So these are quick sort of a rundown of the effective actions that we can take, and I do sort of realize that it was just sort of me speaking, so we can go ahead and actually sort of give you these. If you come here see myself, I can send you the sort of a PDF version of these, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Just to add, if anybody has any additional questions relating to the legal rulings of fasting, please see myself, or we have qualified ustadhs as well that can answer your questions. Please do approach one of us. And like Ustad Omar said, please, if you wish to leave your contact details at the end, we'll be happy to provide these free of charge. Jazakallah khair.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, Jazakallah khair, our Ustad Siraj, for just giving us a nasiyah on the fiqh. There is going to be a 10 to 15 minute break, the 7:15, inshallah. So if the brothers and sisters, if you want to if you're not prayed your Maghrib, I think you still got time, or if you need to do anything else, inshallah, you got 15 minutes. Please can you make sure that you come back by 10 past, so we're ready to start by 7:15. So you just have a 15 minutes break, inshallah. Jazakallah. There's some refreshments on the back. We can have some tea and biscuits, and then inshallah we will continue with the rest of the program.
I know I'm waiting for something to happen to me. But this waiting comes with trials and challenges. Nothing in life is free. My Lord, show me right from wrong. Give me that, make me strong. लाखों सलाम लाखों दरूद और लाखों सलाम जिन्नों मलाइक तेरे गुलाम जिन्नों मलाइक तेरे गुलाम लाखों दरूद और लाखों सलाम इतना करम तो फरमाइए इतना करम तो फरमाइए रोजे पे सबको बुलवाइए हाजिर यहाँ है जितने गुलाम लाखों दरूद और लाखों सलाम